The small space station floated in the dark, cold sky like forgotten trash. Ships came and went, but no one stayed long. The market here was rough, filled with noise, lights, and the stink of old oil and lies. Ethan had landed only to fuel his ship. He didn't like this place. People sold anything here, even living things. As he walked through the narrow market paths, his boots echoed on the metal floor. Traders shouted, flashing fake smiles, broken machines, sick animals in cages, cheap food with strange smells. Ethan just kept walking, eyes forward. Then, something made him stop. He didn't know why. Maybe it was a sound, a small one, like a breath, or maybe it was silence. Too quiet in that corner. He turned his head. There was a large billboard at the edge of the walkway. Rusted metal, glowing lights, some broken. Red letters flashed across the top in 3 languages. On sale, damaged goods. At first, Ethan saw nothing but shadows. Then, he saw her. Tied to the bottom of the billboard was a girl. An alien girl. Thin. Very thin. Her arms were above her head, tied tight with wire. Her feet barely touched the ground. Her skin was pale, almost gray, and full of bruises. Her long hair was dirty, tangled like old rope. A faded cloth covered her. Barely clothes at all. People walked by. No one stopped. Some laughed. Others turned away. Ethan stood frozen. The girl's head was down. She didn't move. He thought maybe she was already dead. But then, her lips moved, a whisper. So soft. He almost didn't hear. Cold. Ethan stepped closer. Her eyes opened just a little. They were not human. Large, glowing slightly, like 2 moons in a tired sky. She looked at him, and something passed between them. Not words, not thoughts, just pain and hope. Who did this? Ethan asked, voice low. A fat trader sitting nearby laughed. 10 credits if you want her, he said. Old model, skin's cracked, spirits broken. No refund. She's not a machine, Ethan said. The man shrugged. Doesn't matter, nobody wants her, she's just in the way now. Ethan looked back at the girl. She blinked slowly. Her lips moved again. Please, she whispered. Let me die. Or be free. The crowd around didn't care. They just passed by, talking, bargaining, buying. But Ethan couldn't move. His fists were tight, his heart heavy. He remembered a time long ago when his own sister had been taken. He never found her. He couldn't save her. But maybe, just maybe, he could save this girl. He stepped forward. The trader leaned back. You really want her? I'm serious. 10 credits, that's it. Ethan looked at the girl again. Her body was shaking now. Not from fear, from cold, from hunger, from being forgotten. He reached into his pocket. 10 credits. He placed them on the table without a word. The trader smiled wide. She's yours. Don't blame me if she dies before you get to your ship. Ethan walked to the billboard. He pulled out a knife and cut the wires. The girl fell forward straight into his arms, light, too light, like she had no weight at all. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She just lay there, eyes closed. Ethan held her gently, wrapping his jacket around her small frame. Kaya, she whispered, voice nearly gone. What? My name. He looked down at her, this girl no one had seen, no one had cared for, tied like trash, left to be sold like an object, Kaya, he said softly. I see you now. And for the first time, a single tear slipped from her glowing eye. As Ethan carried her back to his ship, the red lights of a camera blinked in, the shadows. Someone had seen him take her, and they were already calling for her return. Ethan walked fast through the dark alley of the space station. The alien girl, Kaya, was wrapped in his jacket, her small body shivering in his arms. She was light as a feather, too light, like she hadn't eaten in weeks. Her head rested against his chest and her breathing was soft, weak, but still, there. He didn't speak. He didn't look around. He knew people were watching. He could feel eyes on his back, but he didn't stop. Behind him, the sounds of the market faded. Ahead, his ship waited. Old, scratched, but still flying. As he reached the door, it slid open with a soft hiss. He stepped inside and quickly locked it behind him. The hallway lights flickered on. Warm air touched his face. He carried Kaya to the medical bed and gently laid her down. She tried to open her eyes. Her lips moved again. Ethan leaned closer. "What is it?" "Should have let me die," she whispered. "I'm nothing," he frowned. "You're not nothing, you're alive, that's enough." She shook her head weakly. "You don't know what I've been—" "I don't," he said softly. "But I know this. You're safe now. With me." Kaya closed her eyes again. Ethan grabbed water and a nutrient pack. He opened her mouth carefully and helped her. "Drink." Her throat moved slowly as she swallowed. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. "I don't want anything from you. Just rest." Her fingers moved slightly. She gripped his sleeve, just for a second, then let go. Hours later, Ethan sat beside her, watching her sleep. The ship floated in orbit, silent and still. Outside, stars blinked like tiny eyes, but something didn't feel right. He got up and checked the ship's alert screen. A message blinked in red. "Unauthorized cargo scan detected. Alert. Sector 9A. His heart sank. Someone had seen him take Kaya. He looked at the screen again. The ID code was hidden, masked, probably a slaver's ship. "They're coming," he said quietly. He walked back to the med bay. Kaya's eyes were half open now. "You need to get better fast," he told her. "We might not have much time." She looked at him, confused. "Why did you take me?" "You asked to be free," he said. "I couldn't leave you there." "I'm broken," she said. "No one wants broken things." "I do," he said firmly. "You deserve better." Tears rolled down her cheeks. She covered her face with her hands. "I wasn't always like that," she whispered. "I used to laugh, I used to dream." Ethan said nothing. He knew those words too well. "I was taken from my planet, sold 5 times, used, beaten, starved. When I stopped fighting, they stopped looking at me, left me there. I waited for death." "You're not dead," Ethan said. "You're here. That means you still have a chance." Kaya slowly looked up at him. "Why are you really helping me?" Ethan paused. He sat down again. "When I was a boy, my little sister was taken by raiders. I searched for years. I never found her. Maybe I still feel like I failed her. Maybe this is me trying again with someone else." Kaya reached out her hand, weak and shaking. "Then, maybe I'll try too." He held her hand carefully. "That's all I ask." Later that night, Kaya sat up with help. She was stronger now, just a little. Ethan gave her soft clothes, food, and a warm blanket. But then, thump. The ship shook. Ethan rushed to the cockpit. A ship had docked without permission. He grabbed his blaster. "They've found us," he said. Kaya stood in the doorway behind him, her legs wobbling. "They won't stop." "I will," Ethan said. "I won't let them take you." The door, control blinks red. A voice comes through the intercom. "Return the girl, she's marked, she belongs to us, you have 5 minutes." Ethan looks at Kaya. Kaya lifts her hand and shows a glowing symbol on her wrist. One Ethan has seen before. In royal records, not slave lists. His eyes go wide. "Kaya, who are you really?" The ship's alarm kept flashing red. Ethan stood frozen for a moment, staring at the strange glowing symbol on Kaya's wrist. It looked ancient. Curved lines in a pattern he had only seen in old alien history files. It wasn't a brand. It was a mark of bloodline, a royal one. Ethan looked at Kaya. She was sitting now, still weak, her hand trembling slightly as she hid the glowing mark. "I didn't know it would light up," she whispered. "I didn't want anyone to see it." Again. "Who are you?" Ethan asked. Kaya looked down. "Someone no one wants." Before Ethan could reply, the ship shook again. A deep, rumbling voice came through the communicator. "Final warning. Return the girl, or we board your ship." Ethan stared at the speaker. His heart pounded. He looked back at Kaya. Her eyes were wide with fear. "No," he said out loud. "They're not taking you." He rushed to the cockpit, locking every door. Then he started the engines. Kaya dragged herself after him. "What are you doing? Leaving? You can't. They'll shoot you down." Ethan gave a short smile. "Then they'll have to hit a moving target." Outside, the slaver ship hovered close. It was much bigger than Ethan's old freighter. 4 weapons locked onto his hull. 3 seconds. The voice growled. Ethan grabbed the controls. "Hold on." Kaya fell into the co-pilot seat and gripped the edge. Boom! Ethan fired the boosters, launching the ship forward just as a shot passed behind them. The whole ship rattled, but nothing broke, yet. "Come on, old girl," Ethan whispered to his ship. "Just one more jump." He pressed the hyperdrive keys. Nothing. Warning. Jump drive locked. Security override detected. "What?" Ethan shouted. Kaya coughed and leaned forward. "They must have blocked your ship from the outside. Can I come on?" "You stop it?" She nodded weakly. "I think so. I remember systems like this." She pressed her hands to the console. Her fingers moved fast even with her shaking hands. Ethan flew the ship through a field of broken satellites, dodging debris as laser blasts flew behind them. Then, click. The jump system lit up green. "I did it," Kaya gasped. Ethan didn't wait. He hit the button. Flash. Stars stretched into lines. The slaver ship vanished behind them. They were safe. For now. Ethan let out a deep breath and looked at Kaya again. Her head leaned back. Her face was pale, but she smiled. "You saved both of us," he said softly. "I owe you everything," she whispered. "No. You don't owe me anything." Later. In the quiet of space, Ethan made tea while Kaya rested. The glow on her wrist had faded. When she woke, she stared at the stars outside the window. "I never thought I'd see the stars again. Not like this." "You've been through a lot," Ethan said, sitting beside her. "But you don't have to go through the rest alone." She looked at him carefully. "You really don't want to sell me?" "No," he said firmly. "You were never mine to sell. You're free now." Kaya's eyes filled with tears. "But I don't know where to go. Everyone I loved is gone. My family. My planet. All gone." Ethan stood. He pulled up a map on the screen. "We'll figure it out. Together." She gave him a small, sad smile. "Most people walk past. They don't see the girl tied to the billboard. They look away." "Why didn't you?" Ethan shrugged. "Maybe because I was once the boy no one saw. I know what it feels like." As the ship cruised in quiet space, Kaya looked down at her wrist, again. The glowing mark blinked once more. Only this time it sent out a small pulse, unseen by Ethan or Kaya. Far away. A signal was received. A tall figure in royal armor opened his eyes. "She lives." Far across the stars, on a warship hidden in a forbidden zone, a signal blinked. The man who received it sat in a golden chair. His eyes were cold, his armor dark silver with red marks. He wasn't just a leader. He was a collector. A collector of power, and Kaya, she was the last piece he had lost. "She's alive," he said, standing slowly. After all this time. The room fell silent. "Find her. Bring her back. I don't care how many humans you have to kill." Meanwhile, Ethan's ship drifted through quiet space. The stars outside were peaceful, but inside the cockpit, tension filled the air. Kaya sat beside Ethan. Her eyes watched the galaxy, but her thoughts were far away. "They're not done, are they?" she asked softly. Ethan shook his head. "That signal you sent out by accident, it reached someone. I was trained never to activate it," she whispered. "But I was so tired, so hurt. My body did it on its own." Ethan looked at her. "Who exactly are you, Kaya?" She hesitated. "I'm not royalty," she said. "Not directly. My mother was a royal advisor, trusted, loved. She tried to protect me when the new regime came, but she was killed, and I was taken because of the blood in my veins." Ethan nodded slowly. "They didn't want you dead, just forgotten." Kaya touched the fading mark on her wrist. "They hid me well, moved me from one hand to another, until I ended up tied to a billboard like a broken toy." Ethan clenched his jaw. "Not anymore." Suddenly, beep, beep, beep. Ethan checked the screen. "Oh no." "What is it?" Kaya asked. "They found us." A massive shadow appeared behind them. A dark warship, 3 times the size of Ethan's freighter. Its engines burned red and its guns were already locked. A message appeared on screen. "You stole what is mine." Kaya stepped back. Her face turned pale. "It's him," she said. "Lord Rovan, he owned everything, even people. He called me his collection. I was locked in a glass room before they sold me." Ethan grabbed the controls. "Not anymore." He slammed the engine throttle. The ship jumped forward, but Rovan's ship followed. Fast. Missiles flew past. "Alarms!" screamed. "I can't outrun them," Ethan shouted. Kaya grabbed the side panel. Her hands moved fast, pressing codes into the system. "What are you doing?" Ethan asked, opening a tear in space. "I remember the emergency escape route my mother once showed me. It leads to the Red Nebula. It's wild space. Dangerous, but they won't follow." The ship shook violently as lasers skimmed the hull. "You sure about this?" Ethan asked. Kaya looked him in the eyes. "If we stay, we die." Ethan nodded. "Let's do it." Moments later, Kaya entered the last code. Boom. A tear in space opened, like a black mouth with glowing red edges. Ethan turned the ship and flew in without looking back. The warship stopped just outside. Lord Rovan stared from his command chair. They escaped. Again. An officer nearby gulped. "Shall we follow?" Rovan smiled slowly. "No. We wait. Let them run. Let them believe they're free." Inside the nebula, Ethan's ship rattled and groaned. Kaya held tight as sparks flew. The Red Nebula was violent. Magnetic storms pulled in every direction. But finally, it calmed. They had made it. For now. Later that night, Kaya sat wrapped in a blanket. She stared at Ethan as he cleaned the cuts on her arm. "I don't understand you," she said. "What do you mean?" "You fight for me. Risk your life. You don't even know me." Ethan smiled a little. "I don't need to know your whole past to know you didn't deserve what they did. No one does." Kaya looked down. She whispered, "You're the first one who looked at me and didn't see a product." "I see a person," Ethan said. "And a strong one." Final scene. Cliffhanger. In the dark of the nebula, deep inside the ship, the glowing mark on Kaya's wrist pulsed again, but this time, it sent out a different signal, one not meant for enemies, but for allies. Somewhere. A hidden fleet awakened, and someone whispered, "The lost child of the bloodline has returned." The Red Nebula was full of secrets. It was a place where ships disappeared, a graveyard of stars and ghosts. But Ethan's ship floated quietly now, safe, for the moment. Inside, Kaya sat alone in the sleeping chamber. The room was dim, lit only by a soft glow from the console. She stared at her wrist. The strange symbol was pulsing slowly, like a heartbeat, not red, not angry. This light was blue, calm, steady. She hadn't touched anything. She hadn't spoken a word. And yet, something had changed. In the cockpit, Ethan watched space swirl outside. Clouds of glowing dust danced like spirits. He didn't like sitting still, but Kaya needed rest. She'd barely eaten, barely slept. Suddenly, ping, message appeared on the console. Bloodline confirmed. Ethan frowned. What? More lines appeared. Symbols he didn't recognize. Then the ship's lights flickered, and the hologram appeared. It was a tall woman, alien, graceful, with glowing eyes like Kaya's. Her voice was soft, but powerful. To the last daughter of our sacred line, if you are seeing this, you have survived, Ethan called out. Kaya, you need to see this. She came running, eyes wide. The moment she entered the cockpit, the hologram turned to face her. Child of Aurelia. Kaya, daughter of Elisa, first of the soul-bonded line, your call has awakened the old fleet. Kaya's breath caught. Mother. Yes, the hologram said. I am only an echo, but I was built to guide you if you ever reached this place. Ethan stepped back. He was just a guest in this moment. The hologram continued. You carry the bond, one that links you to the royal mind stones hidden across the galaxy. They were scattered when the Empire fell, but your pulse reawakens them. Kaya was shaking. I'm not ready, I'm not strong enough. You are alive, the hologram said. That makes you stronger than anyone expected. Then the message changed. A star map appeared in the air. Glowing dots lit up, hidden locations, long lost. They will come for you now, the voice warned. But others will come to protect you too. The old ones, the loyal ones, and they still wait. The message ended. Silence. Kaya turned to Ethan. This changes everything. He nodded. They're not chasing you because you're broken. They're chasing you because you're powerful. Elsewhere, in a far-off system, deep under an ocean planet, an ancient ship powered on for the first time in years. Creatures stirred in the dark. Lights blinked to life. A name echoed across the water, Kaya. And in the shadows of another galaxy, a group of cloaked rebels lit their signal fires. She has returned, one whispered. The line was not lost. Back on Ethan's ship, Kaya sat in silence, her arms wrapped around her knees. Do you believe it? She asked. I saw it, Ethan said, and I believe in you. But what if I mess it up? He looked at her carefully. Then we fix it. Together. Kaya gave a weak laugh. You say that like I'm not a walking target. You are, he replied. But you're also a walking key to something bigger. She looked up at him. Her voice was small. Do you think I could be more than what they made me? I already think you are. Hours later, Kaya fell, asleep in the medbay. Ethan watched her from the hallway. She didn't cry this time. She just slept. Peaceful. Maybe for the first time. Final scene cliffhanger. Back in the Red Nebula, far from Ethan's ship, another vessel slipped through the clouds. Sleek, fast, silent. Its captain wore black and gold. A mask covered their face. They stared at the scanner. Signal confirmed. Target, Kaya, capture alive. And they fired a tracer, unseen, undetected. It latched onto Ethan's ship. The ship drifted silently through the clouds of the Red Nebula. From the outside, it looked like a quiet freighter. But inside, something heavy filled the air. A choice. A weight. A future not yet written. Ethan stood in the control room, arms folded, eyes locked on the star map. Dots blinked softly, some lit by Kaya's pulse, others by old warnings. The tracer stuck to the back of the ship was still invisible to him, but danger was already on the way. Kaya entered, wearing the fresh clothes Ethan gave her. Still thin, still tired, but her back was straighter now, her eyes sharper. They're coming, aren't they? She asked quietly. Ethan nodded. Not just slavers anymore. Your signal reached too far. Kaya sat in the co-pilot seat. I didn't mean to call anyone. You didn't have a choice. She looked at him. Do I now? Ethan was silent for a moment. Then he said, We have two options, run again, or stop running and face what's coming. Kaya laughed, softly. I've been running my whole life. Even before the billboard. I was always hiding. She looked at the stars. Maybe it's time to stop. Elsewhere. The masked bounty hunter's ship closed in. Inside, a voice echoed in their helmet. Do not damage the girl. She is not property. She is a prize. You'll be paid when she's delivered. Alive. The hunter pressed a button. The tracker on Ethan's ship began blinking faster. Back, in the ship, Kaya walked through the small hallway, fingers brushing the walls. She passed the kitchen, the storage room, and then the mirror. She stopped. For the first time she saw herself. Really saw. Her reflection looked back. Thin, scarred, but alive. Her eyes still glowed faintly. Her cheeks had color again. She pressed her fingers to the mirror. I don't know who you are anymore, she whispered. But maybe you're someone worth finding. Later that day, Ethan worked under the ship's main console, fixing a broken relay. Kaya brought him a drink and sat beside him. You never told me why you came to this part of space, she said. I was running too, Ethan replied, wiping sweat from his brow. Lost people, made mistakes. Thought maybe out here, I'd stop being haunted. She smiled gently. And now? He glanced at her. Now I think I was supposed to find you. Kaya looked away, suddenly shy. I don't know if I'm ready to be found. Ethan chuckled. I didn't say you had to be. I'm just saying, you don't have to be lost alone anymore. Suddenly, beep. Beep. The ship shook. Ethan jumped up. That's proximity alert. Something's here. They both rushed to the cockpit. A sleek black ship hovered nearby. No markings, no welcome message. Who is that? Kaya asked, voice tight. No idea, Ethan replied. But they found us fast. Too fast. The ship hailed them. Ethan tapped the screen. A voice came through, metallic, cold. Give us the girl. We won't ask twice. Kaya backed away. It's not Rovan, but it's someone worse. A bounty hunter. Ethan's fingers hovered over the controls. The voice repeated, She is a key. You are in the way. Kaya stepped forward. No, she said, her voice stronger than before. I'm done being taken. The screen showed a red timer, counting down. Seconds. Ethan looked at her. We can jump away. Kaya shook her head. We can't keep running. They'll always find me, always chase me. So what do you want? To do? She looked at him, calm, firm. I want to fight. Ethan nodded once. Then we fight. The battle begins. Ethan powered up the ship's hidden weapons. Small, old, but still useful. Kaya took co-pilot. She activated the nebula's gravity pull to confuse the hunter's sensors. They dodged one missile, then another. Kaya guided Ethan through a cloud of glowing ice shards. I think I'm remembering things, she said. Flight patterns, Royal Defense training. You're doing great, Ethan said. Let's give them a surprise. As the hunter's ship lined up for a direct shot, boom! Kaya fired a blast into the nebula cloud. The ice shards exploded in light, blinding the hunter. Ethan turned hard, shooting a pulse into their engine. Direct hit. The hunter's ship spun out of control and vanished into the nebula storm. Silence. Turned. Kaya fell back into her seat, breathing hard. We did it. Ethan smiled at her. That was your first battle. Maybe not my last, she said. Final scene cliffhanger. As they floated quietly, Kaya's wrist mark blinked once more. But this time, it showed something new. A path. A gate. A place she had never seen. But her blood remembered. And it had just opened. The stars looked different now. Not because they had changed, but because Kaya had. She stood at the front window of Ethan's ship, watching a strange blue gate open in space. It was shaped like a flower with spinning petals of light. Her wrist mark glowed again, soft and steady. "I've seen that before," she said, voice quiet. Ethan stood beside her. "In your memory?" Kaya nodded. "In dreams. Or maybe when I was a child, my mother used to tell me stories. She said when the time came, the gate would open for the true heir." Ethan looked at her. "And it opened for you." Kaya didn't answer right away. Then she said, "I don't feel like an heir. I feel like a girl who was tied to a billboard, who begged to be forgotten." Ethan turned toward her. "And now you're the girl who faced a hunter, who guided this ship through storms and who woke up a sleeping fleet." Kaya met his eyes. "And you? You were the first one who saw me, not as something broken, not as a price tag." "You're not broken," Ethan said. "You were never for sale." They entered the gate. The ship flew through a tunnel of light and symbols. It didn't shake, it didn't resist. It welcomed her, welcomed them both. When they came out the other side, they found a hidden planet, covered in green and gold. Ancient, towers stood like fingers reaching to the sky. Lights moved through the clouds, silent watchers. "This place," Kaya whispered. "This was the capital of my mother's people, before the fall." The ship landed softly. Kaya stepped onto the soil with bare feet. Her skin glowed faintly, and the grass under her feet turned blue. "This planet is connected to you," Ethan said. She nodded. "It remembers me." As they walked, doors opened without touch. Lights followed Kaya. Statues turned their heads, slightly as if recognizing her. At the center of a large hall stood a circle of light. A voice echoed, "Kaya of the soul blood. Do you claim what was forgotten?" Kaya looked at Ethan. He didn't say anything. He just gave her the smallest nod. She stepped forward. "I don't claim it because I want power," she said. "I claim it because I want to stop the ones who stole it." The light rose around her, swirling like wind. Memories rushed into her, faces, songs, symbols, languages she once knew. Strength flooded back into her bones, not just from the past, but from who she had become. Outside the planet, the dark warship returned. Lord Rovan watched the gate from afar. "She found it," he growled. She entered the home world. An officer said, "We cannot cross." The gate closed behind her. Rovan's fist slammed into the console. She was supposed to rot, to vanish, and now, she rises. He looked at the stars. "Then I will wait. I will poison every system. She will have nowhere left to go." Back on the planet, Kaya stepped down from the circle. The glowing mark on her wrist had vanished. She didn't need it anymore. She was no longer just a survivor. She was someone reborn. She returned to the ship where Ethan was waiting. He stood up. "You okay?" She smiled. "I am." He tilted his head. "You look different." "I feel different," she said. "But also, still me." There was a silence between them, a warm, quiet kind. Then Kaya said, "Do you have a home, Ethan?" He looked out the window. "Not anymore." She smiled wider. "Good, because I need someone who sees me, and I'd like that someone to stay." Ethan laughed. "Are you asking me to stay on a royal world ruled by a girl I found tied to a billboard?" Kaya laughed too. "Yes, that girl." He looked at her. "Then I'd be honored." Final scene. Later that night, Kaya sat under the stars with Ethan beside her. No more alarms, no more chains, just wind and peace. She looked at him and said, softly, "When they tied me to that billboard, I stopped dreaming. I thought I was invisible. But then you came. You didn't just rescue me. You reminded me I still mattered." Ethan didn't speak. He just took her hand. And together, they looked up at a sky that finally belonged to them both.